Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 14 over-unders. Let's get to this money. First game, AFC South. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the Tennessee Titans. Over, under 41.5. I'm going under here. And listen, I think this is going to be a tough, close fourth quarter football game. And you know when they get close in the fourth quarter, they tend to go over. But for me, man, I just see limitations with this Titans offense. I also see limitations with the Jags offense. They're inconsistent. They're good for 2 drives, bad for 5, and they just can't seem to find their vogue and consistency. Titans defense is really damn good. I thought their secondary would be weak going into the year, yet they're able to cover. And we know this Jags offense struggles in the red zone, and Tannehill is not going to make too many explosive plays. I love the under 41.5 in this game. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Over, under 44. I got a surprise over. And last week, that Mike White Jets team was able to put up points against the Vikings. Do I think he's going to be as good? No, not really. But I do think he provides a few turnovers. And I'm going to say something right now. I respect the Jets defense. I think the Jets defense is top 5 in this league. I'm not here to debate it, but I do think the Bills find a way to the 30s. That's why I'm going over. Mike White will be able to scrounge enough. There will be turnovers, which will lead to money for Josh Allen. Not a lot of science here. I'm going over in Ralph Wilson. Make sure you watch the weather. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over, under 37. I'm going over. And I know that the fundamentals say go under here, but I think Huntley and Pickett are able to move the ball. I think both defenses have their issues. Now, we know the Ravens' defense issue is with the deep pass. Do I think Pickett's going to do a lot of that? No, but I do think he moves the ball. I do think the Steelers run the ball decent in this game. On the other side, Pittsburgh's defense is starting to play really good. But I'm telling you, this Huntley kid has a few rabbits in the hat. There will be 2 or 3 magical plays from him. This will just barely slide over the 37. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Hurts at the New York Giants. Over, under 44.5. Money, money, money. Money over. I don't know how Dayball does it. I repeat, over. I do not know how Dayball gets this game plan in. I don't know what he does, but the Giants are just competitive. They're able to move the ball. They're able to do something with nothing. It is honestly amazing. And we know the Eagles' defense has one weak point. We know there's one point you can attack. You can run it at them. And Saquon Barkley, he's cooled off the last 3 or 4 weeks, but I think this man gets going. I think he goes for over 100. Giants run it 55 to 58% of the time with a little bit of play action on the other side of the ball. Listen, this Giants defense is starting to slow down. Ever since they lost to Dory Jackson, there's just gaping space with their secondary. And you saw this Eagles offense tune up last week against the Titans. You saw Hurts work it deep, finally find A.J. Brown again. I think the Eagles are coming in here to pit 30 points, and I think the Giants, Dabo will manufacture these points. I'm going over, make it a money pick. Next game, we're going to Thursday Night Football. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Rams. Over, under 44.5. I'm going with a surprise over. Somehow, some way, Wolford was able to put up points against the Seahawks. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. But they're able to run it a little, play action pass a little bit. I think they do the same thing against the Raiders. Even though we've been riding the Raiders win streak, we have been riding it. Let's give ourselves a little pat on the back. We know this defense is vulnerable. We know they're going to allow 3 or 4 big plays just due to coverage mistakes. On the other side, I think Carr, Josh Jacobs, they're waiting, man. They're waiting to pounce. They're waiting to get to their 30s. This Rams defense is absolutely decimated. They have checked out the Seahawks, where the Seahawks should have won that game by 15, 20 points. Raiders come in here, have another good offensive performance, enter the 30s. I really like this over. If it wasn't Thursday night, I would fire the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Patreon, $5 a month. Lawson Bets NFL on Instagram. Hit your boy up. Next game! AFC North. We got the Cleveland Browns. Towels. At the Cincinnati Bengals. Over, under 47. I'm going under here. I like the under here. I think this is going to be a playoffs-type football game. I think the atmosphere in this stadium will be a little bit of a playoff atmosphere. I think blood will rise a little bit. I think it's going to be extremely physical. I think Deshaun, he will have his problems. He will play better than he did against the Texans, but this Browns offense isn't ready to soar yet. And I think this Browns defense, they're going to step up to the occasion. Last time they played Burrow, they stepped up to the occasion. Now we know Burrow's got more weapons this time, but I think this Browns defense is coming for a fist fight. I'm going under due to those circumstances. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. Over, under 52.5. Money, money, money. Borderline, borderline, borderline. I'm going over 52.5. When I say Lions, you say over. They always seem to work a game to over. And maybe this is a trick. And that's why I want it to be a borderline money pick. Proceed with caution. But doesn't this just seem like this bad boy is going to turn into a shootout? Vikings getting Darisaw back at left tackle. You got a Lions defense that's been playing pretty good football the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we know they got their issues. We got a Vikings secondary that is absolutely dropping the ball. They let Mike White go for over 300. This just seems ripe for the picking. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a hard-fought game. And you know, with Vikings games, one thing about the Minnesota Vikings, even the Detroit Lions, you know there's going to be a ton of points the last 2 minutes. I'm going over the 52.5, borderline money pick, because something about it feels like a trap. Next game, we got the Houston Texans. Davis Mills is back at the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys. Over, under 45.5. Money, money, money. Money, under. Make it a money pick. Now, this is dangerous because there's no defense in this league worse at stopping the run than Houston. There is none. I can't find it. I think stats back me up. I'm just going by the film. And we know the Texans, with Stingley out, Petrie banged up, they have a hard time covering. I think the Cowboys might get to 30 here, but I don't think the Cowboys want to go for an onslaught. I don't think they want to embarrass the Houston Texans. I see like a 27-10 game, a 27-13 type game that slides under. But for me, it's hard for me to envision a way for this Texans offense to get over 10 to 13 points. They had their chance last week and they completely dropped the ball. I mean, you could say Davis Mills gives them a better chance than Kyle Allen. I'm not going here. I absolutely love this under. I think this is the under I like most this year. Go under the 45.5. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Over under 43. I'm going over. And every single Broncos game goes under. You could set it at 43. You could set it at 40. You could set it at 38. How they even been setting them at 36 and a half, and they're still going under. But I think this finds a way to go over. There is not a lot of science here. You can't bank on the Broncos scoring more than 14 points. You can't even bank on them scoring more than 10 points. But I think this is the week they get something going. I think the Chiefs will beat up their defense. And I'm not throwing shots at this Broncos defense. I respect them. They got a bunch of ballers. But at a certain point, you have to think their will breaks. This is the week their will breaks. I'm going over the 43. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Seattle Seahawks. Over, under 44. Money, money, money! Money! I'm going under. Risky one, but it makes sense. Hear me out. Now, with the Hawks, they've been moving the ball up and down the field. They made stupid mistakes. They should have put up like damn near 35 against the Rams. So I know this Hawks offense is playing good, but this Panthers defense isn't a joke. I think coming out of the bye week, this Panthers defense will be robust with a bunch of physicality, and I think they'll stop the Seahawks run game. All the Seahawks running backs are beat up, and Geno Smith has been good this year, but the Seahawks offense starts with the run, then goes with the play action to the two thoroughbreds on the outside. I don't know how much of that they will have. I don't think they'll be able to run it against the Panthers. On the other side of the ball, we know the Seahawks defense is extremely vulnerable. They're a bottom 10 defense in the league. I don't care what your stats say. But, you know, what's a good recipe for a defense that has some problems? Sam Darnold, serving him up will help this defense. I see like a 24-17 type game. Actually, the final score prediction is 20-13 in this game. I see it going under by a lot. Make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the San Francisco 49ers. Over, under 37. I'm going over. Brock Purdy. When I say Purdy, you say over. No, you say under. But listen. This is going to be a close game. This is going to the fourth quarter. This is going to be a sweater. I don't care how bad Tampa Bay's been. We've documented how bad they've been. But I just think Brady's able to do something here. And 37 is so low for a Brady game. We know these Bucs games have been going under a lot this year, but even I think this is a radical realignment from Vegas. I'm curious to see what Purdy can do, but knowing Shanahan, you know he can manufacture 3 drives. Maybe on two of the drives they get a touchdown, maybe on one they get a field goal, and then you're at 17. This is the Bucs Alamo. Like I haven't been chasing the Bucs spreads. A lot of you have. You guys know who you are at home. If there's ever a week to chase a Bucs performance, just trying to get a little high off that vapor of Tom Brady and the Bucs playing good again, now is the week to suck in, man. I mean, I really feel like it. I just feel like the Bucs do something on offense this week. I'm not saying they're putting up 30. I'm not saying they even can put up 24. But I think the Bucs get into the 20s here. And when you know a Shanahan team, when you look at how this man coaches, you know he's going to have some stuff in for Purdy, and you know they're going to be able to move the ball just a wee bit. I'm going over the 37. Maybe I'm contrarian here. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. But I think this goes over. I think 37's too damn low, even with Brock Purdy involved in the affair. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins, Tua, at the Los Angeles Chargers. Over, under 52. Money, money, money. Money under. I know, this is a little bit of a surprise, right? We've been hitting overs for Miami this whole year. But this is more about the Chargers offense than it's about Miami's offense. This offense with Joe Lombardi as offensive coordinator just doesn't work. It doesn't have the pop that Herbert needs. Herbert's playing excellent. My criticism is not against him. It's towards Lombardi and Brandon Staley. And they just don't got players who can take the top off the defense. And we see this Miami defense slowly getting better the last 3 or 4 weeks. I know, look at last week. The biggest weakness in Miami's defense is their run defense. They stopped Christian McCaffrey the first 3 quarters. I think he was like 17 carries for 41 yards or something like that. That's a good sign. I think Miami stops Eckler, and I just don't see the big chunk plays coming from the Chargers and Herbert on the other side of the ball. Miami's got to run it more. And when you got a Chargers defense, I know you're tempted to throw it on them, especially with Bosa out. They can't get the pass rush anymore. But what you do against the Chargers is you run it down their throat, you run it down their throat, and you run it some more. I think we see Miami control time of possession. I don't think we see the normal highlights, deep pass, 80-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, starting a game with a 60-yard pass to Sherfield. I don't think we're going to see anything along these lines. I think this is a slow tempo, a playoff-type tempo. Due to the tempo, I'm going under the 52, making a money pick. Next game, Monday Night Football. We got the New England Patriots at the Arizona Cards. Over, under 44.5. I'm going over. And I haven't bought in all year to this Patriots defense. I just haven't. Like, they're a pretty good unit, but they're not good. They're not very good. They're not elite by any means. I think Kyler Murray will be able to move the ball. On the other side, I have seen a few strides from Matt Jones. I know that Buffalo game was ugly, but I told y'all it would be extremely ugly. But I think Mac will be able to move the ball against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals like to send a lot of blitzes. And I know New England's receivers aren't great in winning one-on-one battles. They're not great against man coverage. But I think Mac Jones has a good day, and I think Kyler Murray has a good day, and I think this turns into an extremely close game. I think the spread right now is Patriots -1. I do think this game is coming down to the last 2 minutes, and when games come down to the last 2 minutes, they have a magical-like proficiency to always find the over. I think Matt plays good. I think Kyler plays good. I think this is do or die for both teams, especially the Patriots in this cutthroat AFC. This is one game, and just going off the over-unders here, I'm really curious about this game. Who would have thought, a below-average Cardinals team against a below-average Patriots team? Week 14 would be interesting, but I'm really interested in how this game plays out. Give me the over 44.5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet, live call-in show, Friday, 4:30 with your guy Lawson.